She said, do you like waffles? I said, hell yeah. Been watching equals 3 until 2 a.m. I ain't got no iPhone, but I got a DS with a keychain, a pinky. Her cupcakes are the best. I've been failing my classes cause I don't give a damn. They say the world is my oyster, but the free market's a scam. Everything's been changing since last generation was born, and they won't try to take and change. Use a two-edged sword. I'm the antonym of the internet, still cleaning up the viruses that you had left. I think I'm falling in love again. Don't stop until you. I'm the antonym of the internet, been fighting on new grounds over if my love is valid. Fuck the cynicism, let the colors fly. Don't care, you think it's cringe because it's not your life. It's never too late to fall in love with the world. Your past is not today, so set your stride with a twirl. Yeah, we've all made mistakes before, that's the fact of life. But once you restate your heart, you'll be just fine. Now it's your life, you say it's all mine. All mine. Revel in your friends and hobbies, let your heart speak. Wanna drift to say some shit, just block that internet free. I'm the antonym of the internet, still cleaning up the viruses that you had left. I think I'm falling in love again. Don't stop until you. I'm the antonym of the internet, been fighting on new grounds over if my love is valid. Fuck the cynicism, let the colors fly. Don't care, you think it's cringe because it's not your life.
There we are. You can hear me now. All good. So, how are you all doing? We are continuing down our lovely little quest down the Ice Palace and into, well, I've entered this room already, so I actually already sit here. It's a fucking room of lava. Hello, Coded Assembly. We're going to hell. Literally. Look at all the lava. Oh, it's not here yet, but like in a second. Once the game finishes loading. Look, we went from ice hell to lava hell. I already run through this, and I got to like a big gap, and then just got wrecked. So we'll have to figure out where the hell we're supposed to be going. So that door's firmly shut. And these assholes, like, just being the worst. All right, let's see if we can find a way to deal with these guys without screwing ourselves over. Also, I should probably be using my healing items, my life boosting items, to get life increase. Gosh, that health bar has gotten so large. It's so nice. You know, one thing I really do wish I had done better in my first the playthrough I streamed of Elden Ring was have a larger health bar. I still remember getting one shot by Radon, and it's like very embarrassing now, because I'm like, oh god, I should not have been one shot by him. That's my own fault. Oh wow, I can't even blow him up while he's breathing fire. Boo. There we go. Aha! Oh right, fire. Remember, can't blow them up with the breathing fire. That would be cheating, I guess. Alright, we've got some health now. Sweet. So, I've already done this. Ow. I fell in there last time too. And then we get this way, and then there's the freaking steam vents. I mean, you know, I used to think steam vents were a really stupid way to, like, take damage, but having had steam blasting in the face at this point, I'm like, no, this is fair, this is fair. That fucking hurts. Honestly, it's amazing he's not taking more damage. Okay, so how do I get across this gap? That is my question here. I have no idea how I'm going to get across this gap. At all. There's a shimmyable ledge. Oh! Aha! We need to be cautious. We need to be clever. I shall be clever. Not no! Fuck! Oh my god, I survived. Okay, let's not be stupid. Let's align our camera properly so we're not an idiot. Shimmy, 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 shimmy! Oh, shit, that is a very narrow window, I gotta say. Alright, I have like no health potions too, so I really gotta be careful. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Save station. That's our goal over there. That right there is our goal. Alright. So we've got another door we've got to open. Another convoluted fucking puzzle luck, I imagine. Yes, yes, of course. We've got to find the 2 magic keys for the 2 magic eyes. Alright. We can either try jumping... I can't get that way because the lava flow is going to make doing that wall run impossible. But I might be able to make it over there if I do like a wall run or something. Maybe? We'll see. Anyway, what I've been working on. So I've actually been working on a few things. As I have mentioned, of course, I am working on doing a drawing for my homepage on NeoCities because I finally have like got the Magnus stuff. Like I think I've got my format for that good. I'm gonna you know, fill in the flesh. I need to fill in the flesh worm. I still haven't done the drawing for the flesh worm like I want to, but I have the info for the flesh worm all written out, you know, so I can do that as my first like shareable entry. Giant switch, strong impact. Stab down. I'm also, of course, working on my Omens of Chaos review. I've already recorded it. Thank you again, Code and Assembly, for helping me, like, you know, review my my script. It helped me a lot. I probably am gonna, by the way, put you as like an editor in the description if I. Hopefully, I will remember to do it. Oh, god damn it. Okay, I didn't realize this platform was timed. I would have killed the demons first. No, I don't want to... This game just cannot stop patronizing me, can it? Every time I die 3 times, right? Every like 3 times I die, it's like, hey, do you want to give up and go into kitty mode? No, game. No, I fucking don't. I will beat this. It is only a matter of time. Okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. It's fine. It's cool. We're cool. But yeah, so I'm you know, working on that. I'm also working on getting Occultist. I've gone through my footage. I have like my major sections, you know. I'm probably gonna still like look through a few things, but I want to try and at least get like an early draft of that edited out by Sunday. So I'm gonna my goal is essentially to try and get Omens of Chaos finished by either Wednesday or Friday. Probably on Friday, just because I might want to go to Magic this week. And then I will. Oh, frick. And then after that, I'm going to try and once I have Omens of Chaos mostly finished, I am going to work on the Occultist review, and then after that, I'm going to move straight to Digital Circus because I want to try and have Digital Circus out 2 weeks from now. I might release Digital Circus before Occultism, or for the Occultist, just if I feel like it's like the time crunch, like, right, because we have like 2 weeks, right, since the last movie came out. So this is the first week, and if I can't get it Occultist done this weekend, I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the Amazing Digital Circus review because I want to have that review finished, right, by the time that it releases, so I can release my review right alongside the release, you know, get the most people to view it. I want to kind of try and see if I can optimize that release schedule. Sort of like what I did for Velma. I'm not going to talk about that because, again, I don't want to do spoilers. I know some people haven't seen it in theaters. Code and Assembly specifically, and I talk to him a lot. So I don't want to do any spoilers right now, but, you know, I'm going to leave it there. Leave it there. Because I'm a wordy bitch. Topical. Yes, exactly. Be topical. I really wish I could get that health orb. I'm not going to get it. Oh, god damn it. I am bad at this lava. I am going to die here so many times. I was trying to get back to the platform and I just got caught up in like the fucking lava lake. I should have jumped back on the main platform instead of trying to go for the far one. I don't know what I was thinking. You know, I would actually kill for some enemies on safe platforms because I could do that jumping like slash attack at them, right? to get some extra air, but nope. Swear, I'm gonna die more to like the platforming in this game than to the combat, right? Also, I just realized maybe I can use an explosive arrow to open up that like weird astrolabe globe thing. That might be cool. See if we can do that. I thought I used... Oh, I hadn't swapped yet. Okay, there we go. Enemy. I just wasted a bunch of explosive arrows like a moron. I probably should just reload. But it's really annoying. See, this game actually disincentivizes reloading by just making it a bit of a pain in the ass. There's no, like, quick load button, right? To, like, easily reload. So it forces you... I feel like it forces me to, like, actually try and play it out, because the only way to reload is to just quit out the game. I haven't figured out a way to just go back to the main menu, annoyingly enough. I don't think that's a good thing, because I feel like the main menu should be accessible, but, you know, it has encouraged me not to quick load as much. Oh, there we go. I got the stone tablet. Okay, cool. Now I have both pieces of stone tablet. I can interact with this... Oh, I'm just trying to... Freaking... Game. I want to interact with the interact button. Okay, there we go. Why would somebody go to all the trouble of building this? I don't know. Just lost 2 arrows because this game is like... Oh, yeah, we see you clicking the interact button. You clearly want to shoot arrows, right? No, I wish your interact button was not so finicky. Anyhow, let's see, what else? Ooh, I found a new Dragon Book series that looks kind of interesting. Basically, it's this world where they hunt dragons because some people can harness their power of a dead dragon for mage power. Honestly, it's a concept similar to what I was thinking of for, like, the history of my world, right? For my fantasy world, where the idea is that a long time ago, the reason, like, the dragon spell that turns people into dragons that, like, causes the draconic apocalypse works is because a long time ago humans hunted dragons for their blood. It wasn't the reason they, you know, didn't nearly die as a species or anything. They had other shit that was causing them to go nearly extinct. But one of the things was that humans' blood was like a vessel for draconic fire, and it allowed them to use magic, and that it was in that like distant dragon blood acted as sort of like a wire, right, for the dragon magic spell that turned a lot of humans into dragons and killed the rest. And apparently the concept for this is kind of similar, where humans kill dragons to gain their powers. But apparently one dragon does not like that, and he gets together with some humans and is like, Viva Revolution, which I think is kind of cool. It's a cool concept. It's like, yeah, so now you gotta deal with the dragon war. Very interesting, and I'm on board for it. Weird magic systems always get me, and also dragons, and when you combine the two, like, of course I'm gonna say, yeah, that's right up my alley. Alright. Dead. Gotcha. Gotcha, bitch. Okay. Ah! Yes! We did it! We have entered the caverns. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and save over here. Round depression in the door. We'll need something to get through there, but I have made it. I have shit, and I have money. I have more scarabs. Amulet of Benediction. What does that even do? Oh, it's not something in the shop, so I can't see it yet. I'll see in a second, though. First, we're gonna want some healing potions, obviously. I really want to finish upgrading that freaking wooden sword, but I keep spending my money on other stuff. I don't want to, like... I think we're nearing, like, the end of the game, you know? So I'm probably in a bit... probably before next time, I'm going to try and, like, farm up some stuff and get that wooden sword fully upgraded. We'll go ahead and grab arrows, because it seems like an area where we're not going to be able to actually, like, attack enemies, right? So we're going to need to be more proactive from a distance. I do want to get Kitetsu upgraded, because the Demon Sword Twin Blade is kind of cool to use. We'll go ahead and save. Spend some money. Alright, try not to waste arrows. You can only get 2 shots in. I really hate how they become, like, invincible to arrow shots. It's very annoying. There we go. Alrighty. So, yeah, so I've got a new book series lined up after I finish that Tsunarian Urban Fantasy one with Gilgamesh. I'm still working on reading through that. It's promising. I'm very excited. Apparently, it is actually the finishing book, which is kind of interesting because her usual MO for Rachel Aaron, at least, has been to do either, oh gods. Has been to either do like 3-part series or 5-part series. I don't think she's done a 4-part series yet. So it's been interesting having a 4-part series be like the finale. Book 4. I was almost expecting a book 5. Although I will say, Heartstrikers book 5 did kind of feel like this probably should have just been in book 4, to be real. Like, I'm sorry, it should have. Oof. Alright. Alright. Alright! Yes! Combo attack. Alright, got it. I lost a lot of health doing that though, so not great. Not great. I'm trying to figure out where I need to go, honestly. Because I've been through the magma lake, but I can't really open up this... Oh, frick! When you miss the jump, when you miss the jump like an idiot. Oh, man. I was, like, sick as hell on Monday. On Monday. I was not actually sure I was gonna, you know, be streaming. I did not feel great. I got a call at, like... it was, like, 10 o'clock on Sunday, which is weird because I usually don't get calls while I'm on call on Sunday. And then they were like, oh yeah, everything's down, including the VPN you need to access to confirm some stuff. So they put me on like standby for a while, and it didn't wrap up until 12:45, and like nearly like past 1. It was like by the time I got to sleep, it was bad. Okay, this is where I need to go. Oh, frick. Oh, okay, these guys are very annoying. I've been trying to get more sleep. I have too. I have been trying to get a bit more sleep in general as well. Mostly because, like, I feel like, yeah, I can get by with a little bit less, but I do like to have at least enough that I'm maybe not operating on so thin margins anymore. But we'll see. I have a lot of stuff going on, unfortunately. What else? Oh yeah, I've also been continuing to upgrade the Plex server. That's been an ongoing thing. I'm nearing all the Disney movies, which has been very exciting. Well, all the ones I care about. Like, I haven't gone, like, Home on the Range or anything, you know? Yes! Alright. Ah, dang it. I really need to not use the Kitetsu against these guys. It's not working out. I should probably bring out... I think the Heavy Sword did well against them earlier. I really just hate these things. They're extremely tanky, and that whole, oh yeah, we're invincible right now thing pisses me the hell off. Because at least with the other enemies, when they're in like a blocking stance, it's kind of obvious. But with these guys, these like dragon demons... corrupted fallen dragons, indeed. They aren't as obvious about when they're actually vulnerable, it feels like. So it can be a little annoying. And also, I should probably save after doing the Life of the Gods thing. So let's try and see. What would be our... I think our good weapon here is probably... Diablori. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. My brain. What's it called again? I should actually try and say its name for real. Dabliaro. Dabliaro. See, this thing actually stuns them too. Also, yeah, that damage is what I want to see. This is how you're supposed to fight these guys. I can tell. Yeah. You know when you, like, can just tell that a weapon is specifically designed for a particular enemy? Like how the, freaking... Like how that recurring shuriken is... Like how, like, the windmill shuriken is basically designed for those ghosts in that tomb area. You can just tell sometimes that they're like, they should use this weapon optimally against this enemy. The designers speak through damage and glory. Oh joy, balance beam shenanigans. Got it. I really am liking the heavy weapon. You know, I've actually been a bit nicer with heavy weapons as of late. I've been playing some, like, I've actually gotten to use some great swords in Elden Ring PvP, and man, they feel nice. I've always been more of like a claw guy, or like a, you know, thrusting sword, but I played around with the Zweihander, and man, the Zweihander is just classic. Claymore is still good, but it's not as good as it was in, like, OG Dark Souls. However, one thing I have determined, Fred, I think it is finally time, or at least it will soon be time, for a review I have put off for a great many years. I think next year I will finally do a review of Bloodborne. The Bloodborne animated movie is coming out, and I'm like, if there is a time to do Bloodborne, the time is nigh. It is upon us. The great Bloodborne review calls to me, and I can no longer ignore its siren sounds. And so it must be, and so it shall be. Bloodborne calls to thee. So speaks the old blood. Fear the old blood. I'm so hyped for that Bloodborne movie. I don't think I can express how hyped. I don't know. Do you think Bloodborne is any good? I think it is. I think it's very good. And I know other people have talked about it a lot. But I also, like, I want to talk about how much I love it. And the things I like about it. Even if I feel like other people have done the review, it's something I hold so dear. I feel like it's a review, though, I'd want to, like, work on for a while. You know? Like, it's something I'm literally thinking about already starting to pull up notes for, if that makes sense. Like, I think I'm going to start making notes about it now, even though the movie's not coming out till next year, so that I will be ready to talk about the game. In a way, and I need to find something I want to talk about with it that is more than just H-Bomber Guy. Because the thing is, the worst part is H-Bomber Guy's video is, like, right there, staring at the entire internet, and it is a very concise and descriptive understanding of why Bloodborne is good. The entire review is a very thorough explanation of Bloodborne's good attributes. However, there are some things about it I think I can talk about that other people don't talk a ton of. For example, I have actually done a lot of the Chalice dungeons, and I feel like I have enough understanding of them to talk about some of their better aspects, whereas other people just kind of dismiss them as, like, the bad part of Bloodborne, you know? Oh, it's the procedurally generated dungeons, they're not that great. I actually kind of like them. I like some of the bosses. I think that could be an interesting point to talk about, you know? I also think I could talk about some of the different build varieties, maybe. A lot of people don't really mention, like, arcane builds, because they're not really a thing. Like, they are, but they require a lot of extra setup. It's one of the problems I have with the game, is that the arcane builds feel like they're very useful, but you can't really start as an arcane build. You kind of have to build into it. Aside from the flame sprayer, you don't really get most arcane weapons until at least the DLC at the earliest. Like, you have to rush to it. Whereas blood-tinged weapons you get plenty of via all the guns and stuff, right? So I think I have unique things to talk about with it. I'm just not sure if it'll make a full review. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. But I am eager to see if I can do it. It's not a guaranteed review, right? I'm gonna try. I'm gonna see if I can get enough cohesive information out on paper, and if I can, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna fucking do it. I missed the chance. Like, I'm an idiot because I missed the chance to redo my Kirby Air Ride review because my Kirby Air Ride review is terrible. Please don't go watch it. It's from a long time ago. I genuinely don't know what the fuck I was smoking back then. But I was not great at articulating my opinion. I'm not even that amazing at it now. I don't think I'm okay at it. I've gotten better. I've learned to become more articulate and thorough and have a point. But back then I was particularly bad at rambling on without any real overarching premise or goal. God, that old Timber. I also want to re-review Temeraire, but I'm saving that for when we eventually get the movie review. Yes, I'm in denial. I can hope. I can beg. I can beg the universe to give us a Temeraire movie. Ugh. You know what the worst part is? We're not going to get a Temeraire movie. If we get any movie, it's probably going to be Uprooted. That's my bet. If Naomi Novik ever gets a movie deal to go through, it's going to be up for Uprooted, because that's now considered her, like, big classic. It was the one that won, like, a bunch of awards and is generally regarded as, like, really, really good. And so I think if she ever gets a movie review, I do genuinely believe that Uprooted is going to be the review she gets. Unfortunately, in my opinion. I think that is an unfortunate part of it. Hey, look, the game broke again. This has happened a few times now. I'm moving my joystick, but I can't move. I'm stuck. Well, we're resetting the game. Oh, also, I have another article I can write for my website. I got Seamless Co-op to work. So I remember talking about how I was unable to use like the full controller layout on Seamless Co-op. Hello, Nerdo Dragon, good to see you. But anyway, I got Elden Ring to like fully work on Linux with Seamless Co-op and everything. I would hope that if Temeraire is as good as you say, you'd be glad it hasn't gotten a movie adaptation. See, you would say that, but I actually wanted to get a movie adaptation because I also think it's short enough that you could actually do it justice. There are some books that are too long, I think. Personally, I think they are too long for movie adaptations. I think it's a miracle the Harry Potter movies are as good as they are. I think there are some things that should not... The fuck? Okay, I found the abominable... I don't know what the fuck is this thing. Oh man, this great sword just does gangbusters against these guys. Oh man, look at that damage. Fucking amazing. Oh no, no, no. Heal, heal, heal. Freaking abominable leak shy. It was the guy from the Lord of the Rings doing it. So yes, exactly. That's my point. It had a good director pegged to it, and he was apparently interested in the project. But then it got caught in, like, rights hell forever. You have a higher likelihood of it not being a good adaptation instead of being good done justice. See, that's the thing, though. I would rather they at least try. Like, and this is a controversial opinion, I would rather movies like Aragon exist than movies not get made. I think adapting into a movie audience is a good thing, because it opens it up to a wider audience. Harry Potter would not be nearly as popular without the movies. There are plenty of people who would never have read Harry Potter, regardless of your opinions on it, right? Without it having gotten that movie adaptation. And I think it can be a good thing for some works that want a wider audience. And I would love for more people to read Temeraire. I think that would be an objectively good thing, right? Even a bad movie adaptation can get more people to watch it. And so I would rather movie adaptations exist than not exist. No, don't get me wrong. They don't always get more people to read. It's not a guarantee. How to Train Your Dragon is actually a really weird example where a lot of people went to go try the first book but didn't actually finish the series because the movie diverged so heavily, despite also being really good, that they weren't really interested in the same, they weren't like, it wasn't really what they were advertised, so to speak. And so that can end up turning people away sometimes. But I do think that movie adaptations do a good job of exposing things to a wider audience. And I would like for more people to read Temeraire, because I think Naomi Novik deserves it. Also, even if the movie's not good, it's generally good for the author, to an extent, because it often gets them extra funding for a good work. And so Naomi Novik getting reminded that Temeraire is a beloved classic that everybody should fucking read, and she should feel good for having written something so nice, is something I will definitely, this project may be a great project. I can picture the movie in my head. You see 2000s or 2010s. Is it fails as an adaptation, it at least makes it an entertaining action fantasy. Exactly. So I would rather it get made. Plus, not making them on the idea that they may be bad would mean you might not have ever gotten the fucking Lord of the Rings movies, because maybe the Lord of the Rings adaptation would be bad. We shouldn't let him do it. Like, there are so many good adaptations that I would actually feel bad if adaptations did not happen. I think adaptations, despite all their negative press, despite all the bad ones, there are enough good ones, and I feel like those good ones exist that are so good they deserve to exist. Like, they make up for the other ones, if that makes sense. Alright. Aragorn wouldn't be a bad movie. What Temeraire had going for it was a chance this adaptation would be killer. Yeah, again, the fact that the original time where it was seriously being considered for adaptation, and it was the fucking Lord of the Rings guy, just instantly made me go, no, we really, because I found out about like years later. I'm always like wondering why Temeraire had never gotten a movie adaptation, because it feels like pretty prime movie stuff. Like, the premise is easy to explain, right? Dragon, it's the Napoleonic War, but there are also dragons. There, you've explained the premise to a modern audience. Like, immediately, you have people hooked. You can have people on board. And then it hooks you even further with good characters and a focus on actual historical events, twisted in how they would adapt. Like, yes, please, all of this, more. I want more. Weirdly enough, Naomi was... No! No! Why? What did I do to deserve this? What did I do to deserve this? What did I do to deserve this boss fight? Oh! Was back to, do I remember right? Anyone who's actually doing was that? Your pals want to play TDL. Oh, I hate this. How do I dodge that? Do I have to just... Oh, God. And they have extra attacks now. Oh, I'm gonna lose. At least, you know what? At least the save point is literally right outside the boss door. I can at least respect it. This is what I'm always saying. Everyone says Aragon is a bad movie, but it's not. It's a good movie if you aren't looking for an adaptation. It's not a great movie if you're not looking for an adaptation. It's an okay action flick if you don't have an attachment to source material. I'm unable to have that kind of detachment because the Aragon books were my entire childhood. Like, middle school to high school, I would almost say that was like my personality, was I like Aragon. I'd say, like, How to Train Your Dragon and Aragon basically defined my personality at that age. So I am unable to look at that objectively. I would say you make a decent point. But, again, unable to do that. I'm unable to do that. Oh boy, the frickin' worms. I hate these guys. There's such a boring fight, too. Like, most of your fight is just spent waiting for them to get into range. And dodging, like, ranged attack. It's the fucking Moonlight Butterfly. Even as a ranged-focused magic user, I don't... And the fact they're attacking me from where I can barely see them is really, really goddamn annoying. And they don't do the melee attacks that often. They just like spamming that freaking fire attack I have yet to learn how to dodge. And then if I dodge it successfully, I over-dodge and run into the goddamn lava. Is Aragon somewhat faithful adaptation of part it adapts? No. It's complicated. Because I personally love the early chapters of Aragon a lot. The chapters of Aragon slowly raising Zafira and hiding her and giving her her name and being trapped in the spine and having his legs raw and everybody questioning what the hell happened at the farm. All of that is like skipped over so quickly. Aragon raises Zafira in like a single scene. She just magically grows to full skies. The key plot point is to Verdantop. No, Braum dies the same goddamn way, basically. The Razak attack, Murtagh saves them, Braum gets stabbed. The main difference is that they don't go to Dras Leonin, which doesn't set up some later parts in Brisingar. They skip over a lot of the earlier start and don't really introduce most of the Carvajal characters in Aragon's hometown. Like, I don't think Horst really gets introduced at all, and he's like a major player. At least for, like, Murtagh's, not for Murtagh, for Roran's whole secondary plot. You know, these are the people he's leaving behind. Like, one of the major things for Aragon was the people he left behind. The moon. Oh, sorry, he's killed. Oh, right, you're right. He's killed by Durza when they go to rescue her. I forgot about that. Okay, you're right. Right, that whole thing. It's been a long time since I watched it. I'm mostly remembering the books where they get ambushed by the Razak. And Murtagh ends up saving them. Which was a really cool introduction to him, because he was, like, hunting the Razak, and it's like, ooh, this shady guy who knows about the Emperor's, like, inhuman assassins, right? Because, the Galbatorix, the king, sorry, not the Emperor, but the king, King Galbatorix, not Emperor Galbatorix, but, like, Galbatorix's Razak were, like, a dirty secret of the Empire. Like, you knew about them, you either shouldn't know about them, and you were probably wanted to stay quiet about the fact you knew, or you are probably not enjoying the fact you know about them. Oh, man. But no, there's a lot of extra stuff that goes on. Honestly, I personally, as a fan of the books, I think it's a fucking crime how they skip over the early parts. It's a Dragonheart wannabe with an Aragon plot in it. Well, like, one of the major things for Aragon in the beginning is leaving Carvajal, right? Is abandoning his home, and leaving with Zafira, and, you know, his uncle being dead, everyone kind of questioning him, like, nobody will ever know what happened, that kind of thing. You know, it's like, it's supposed to be a big deal for him, and they just kind of gloss over it in the movie. It's really sad, in my opinion. Okay, that sweep attack is going to end my frickin' life. I find it to be a very disappointing way of dealing with it. One of the big things, too, was the way that Zafira dragged Aragon to the spine. Like, the fact they didn't adapt that drives me insane. Because Zafira is a dragon, right? It builds up the Razak of these very threatening killers. And also hints towards their nature with the Lith Blanca later on. Because Zafira is, like, instinctively scared of the Razak. She has this, like, instinctive fear. And the fact that Lith Blanca apparently can kill dragons, like, they are actually decent at hunting dragons, explains why she might be afraid of their, like, pupa form with the Razak. There's a lot of, like, subtle foreshadowing here that doesn't get a lot of good credit for, I think. People, like, kind of write it off a bit. But there's a lot of really good stuff it does right. Alright. Come on. Gotcha. Okay, I think I got an attack that works up. I still remember Sloane's fate in the book. It was messed up. Yeah, and the thing is, you get why some people won't feel sorry for him. Because for as fucked up as his fate was, and it was, like, really bad. Honestly, it's one of the most morally questionable things Aragon does in the whole series. Is, like, essentially curse Sloane to live a long life with the elves. Never to see his daughter, who he sold out the entire town for, right? He did everything, because everything Sloane did was very human. It was cruel, it was petty, it was heartless, but you get it, right? He was angry at Roran and Aragon for bringing this perceived danger into Carvajal, which he's not entirely wrong about. right? The Razak only became because of the egg, but they would have come regardless. He didn't know that, but from his perspective, it makes sense. But he sold out his entire town. He did it all for Katrina, and now he's going to live his entire life, a long life with the elves. They're going to take care of him and make sure he lives. And he's going to live that whole life knowing Katrina is happy and safe somewhere else and that she believes he is dead. And he will never see the person he did all those fucked up things for. And Aragon essentially forces him to make the journey. Forces him to survive and to face the cruelty he has inflicted and what he has done. It's really fucked up. Like, he got his eyes pecked out. It was tortured by the Razak for months. And then Aragon says, yeah, I saved you. But you led to the death of a lot of really good people. Oh my god, it's a full-on dragon. We have to kill the dragon. It's tainted by demon blood. We can't let him live. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry. This heavy attack is my jam, by the way. Oof. But yeah, it was really fucked up. Sloane's fate is probably one of the most messed up things Aragon has done in the whole series. Like, Aragon did a few morally questionable things, but nothing on the level of Sloane's fate. Nothing even close to the level of Sloane's fate. Until way later. Oh, frick! Sloane was extremely human and deem, in the extremes that love can make you justify. Right, and one of the things I like about Aragon is they explain why he's like that, you know? Like, Katrina, the spine is this cursed place where people believe that just misfortune happens. The fact that Aragon is one of the few people that doesn't do it, and he's clearly a bit fate-touched, probably doesn't help them, honestly. It probably didn't make him more affectionate towards Aragon. He's very, very fearful of the spine after it took his wife. And he treasures Katrina as, like, his only joy in life. So you get why he does the things he does. Oh man. And I feel like the spine, like that whole arc though too with the Razak and Saphira like running away with Aragon. Like he blames her for his uncle's death for a little bit. Like he calls her a coward and she's like, maybe, but at least you will live and I care more for you than him. I will not let you die. I will not let you die. And if he had stayed, he would have died. He would have died. And Saphira objectively saves his life. And he is very angry at her for it. Because it meant his uncle died. And then you get, like, the whole scenes, right? Where, like, the reason Aragon leaves is because, like, not only are the Razak coming back, they're definitely going to come back. People are asking questions. When Horst is hosting him in the house, Aragon overhears conversations about how they're like, we went to his house. Yeah. There's no trail where he dragged his uncle on that pad. It appears a few miles out from the village, but there are like gigantic beast tracks, and the barn was like ripped apart. It doesn't even look like it was the explosion. It looks like something tore it apart to get inside. He's hiding something. There's things he's not telling us, and he's like, okay, we have to go. And then Brahm just shows up and is like, not without me, you won't. I do love a lot of the foreshadowing. Some people call Aragon a bit like, you know, by the books. And I'm like, I mean, you can say it's basic, but it does a lot of shit right. It does a lot of shit very, very right. And it foreshadows and explains and justifies the stuff in a way that a lot of other books could stand to do a lot better. Like, in another fantasy series, Sloane would just be the angry guy who sells out everyone else because he's a coward and gets murked to show how bad the bad guys are. Instead, he doesn't get murked. The Razak take him for failing. Oh. Man. And even the Razak, like, the Razak are some of the most monstrous creatures, right, in the entire series. They are, unlike Galbatorix, they don't have the excuse of, like, being fucking psychotic. Like, Galbatorix is a selfish asshole, but he is at least, like, most of that is a result of the loss of something so precious, few beings could even imagine it, you know? Like, the loss of his dragon was so precious to him in a way that like no one could really understand outside the other Dragon Riders, and he blames them for refusing to help him, even though they did try and get him help. He just didn't realize what kind of help he actually needed. But even the Razak, for as monstrous as they are, in the end, when the Aragon has like essentially killed the last mated pair of like Blanca and Razak, and the Razak, like the last Razak comes to him, you know, and is like, "You have killed me. She was my mate. We were the last of our kind. I do not know if there are more of us out there. I think we are all that we are. You have killed us. You have destroyed our species." And it doesn't like just go on a suicide mission for no reason. It tries to bargain. It's like, "I know our species is damned, but I ask only for this. Remember us, humans. Remember us as the terrors that once haunted your night. I beg that we are not forgotten. Do not allow us to fade into nothing but whispered tales. Please remember us." Like, its final moments are weirdly... It's a fucked up kind of relatable, right? But it's... Like, if you were the last human on Earth, and you were talking to another species, like an elf, and you were the last human, you would just watch them kill the last of your kind, would you not ask them to at least remember that humanity existed? That you existed? To not let you fade into nothing? Like, it was a very weirdly human moment for a creature as, like, just utterly monstrous as the Razak. And the Urgles, like, they went from being just monsters in the first book to being an entire species with, like, a very interesting kind of culture. Who hate Galbatorix for very understandable reasons. Then again, everyone has understandable reasons to hate fucking Galbatorix. He's Galbatorix, right? I love how Braum recognizes one of the best ways to gather intelligence to be a beggar. No one ever suspects the beggar. Do not take their presence into account when opening their mouths. Yeah, bro, you can tell Braum lived in some, like, shitty situations over the years while he was hunting the Forsworn. You can just, like, tell. You can tell Braum's been through some shit just from, like, the very beginning. Oh, I loved it. I love the entire thing. There's new Dragonborn. Oh shit, I'm about to die. Yep, there it is. There's new Dragonborn. Oh, yeah, the new Dragonborn book is out. I forgot about that. I need to grab that new book. I did remember, that came out at the end, that came out in May. I need to read that as well. God, I have so many things on my... See, this is what I'm talking about. I have so many things on my to-read list at the moment. All the books are coming out. All the books have come out, and I'm now, like, a little behind. Yes, I need to catch up on the new Dragonborn book. I'm excited for that. That looks good. Again, I like that one because they didn't give the... I like it when because if you're gonna have... I just checked. Currently, I'm washed. Currently, I'm washed. But yeah, like, when it comes to that series actually has caught my attention for a few reasons. One, it feels like the new Percy Jackson. Like, this feels like the very, like, Percy Jackson style book. I'm very on board with it. But also, it gave the main protagonist a unique power, but did not make that unique power, like, overpowered. You know? Like, so she can see dragging ghosts. And it means she can help find information on something. On rare artifacts, and she can be, like, good information gatherer. But it doesn't make her necessarily, like, powerful in the way, like, normal dragons are. Also, I think I'm safe as long as I stay on this platform. So I'm just gonna, like, charge on my heavy attacks and, look, cheese! I have found cheese! We have discovered a new form of cheese, everybody. Cheesing the boss, cheesing the boss. Being a beggar was the crux of Brahm's plans. It was info gathering, it was saving and storing energy, it was hiding, it was watching his son grow up, and all hinged on Brahm being a beggar. I mean, technically he wasn't a beggar in Carvajal. He was the storyteller, right? He was this eccentric older guy who knew a lot and was willing to put on performances to lighten everyone's mood. He was essentially the town bard. You know, he was one of the old wizened guys, and he was the town bard. I'm sorry, Mr. Dragon. You were corrupted by demonic energies. I had to kill you. Life of the 1,000 gods. More health. But he was a beggar in a lot of other areas. He was definitely a beggar in a lot of other areas. And you can tell he had lived as a beggar for a while, too. Remember, in Carvajal, he had his own house and everything. Like, he was doing pretty well in Carvajal. Or at least he lived comfortably without, like, a discernible job. Then you're at the end of the game. Maybe we'll start new play plus hard difficulty. Probably not. Master Ninja. Master Ninja only because I found cheese for that boss. The Fiendish Awakening. The Fiendish Awakening. Ja-ja-ja. 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 Aha! Alright. Got it. But yeah, no. It was, you're alright. He lived a quiet life there, and he did it so he could continue watching his son. Honestly, I liked the reveals where one of the things they did a really good job on, I think, was the Morzan is your father redirect, right? Because if you look back, the hints on Brahm are definitely there. You know? Like, he was so proud of Aragon for naming his dragon Saphira. Like, he cried when he heard that Aragon had named her name. Like, a tear ran down his cheek when he heard Saphira's name for the first time, right? Like, that's the sign of a proud father watching his son, like, take after him, you know? And then the more you hear about Brahm, like, Aragon gets compared to Brahm a lot. Oramus, their teacher, compares him to Brahm on the regular. He talks about how curious Brahm was. And how, Brahm was also curious, just like you. And he's just like, there are so many hints that it was actually Brahm that does it. And that final moment, right, when Brahm gives Aragon his blessing, when you start to learn, like, you know, you might not necessarily understand it immediately, but as you read the series, the idea of, like, him giving the blessing, you know, sees more and more like a father's thing to do. And after Murtaugh's reveal, you're like, oh, he's Morzan's son, obviously, you know, Shaft brother, you know, Darth Vader style reveal. It's like, no, it's actually way cooler than that. And it keeps up the parallels with Aragon and Morzan, right? Or not Aragon and Morzan, Aragon and Murtaugh, that I think make their friendship very real. Because even when they were even when they were enemies, Aragon felt nothing, no real hatred towards Murtaugh. He felt pity, or at the very least sympathy to him, for the position he had been forced in. He understood that Murtaugh did not wish to serve the king. He already understood that Murtaugh didn't want to do it, and Murtaugh didn't have the full story. Exactly, Murtaugh didn't have the full story. He didn't know the details because his mother had kept so many secrets from him, right? But even before you learn those details, the side information you get can hint towards it, right? Like the fact that like the Black Hand, the way they're like build up the Black Hand, right? It's like there's more to Selena than this, because Garrow clearly remembers her fondly, and he seemed to have, like, Garrow, one of the things that people forget is Garrow did seem to have a pretty good sense of, like, character for people, right? He didn't like try and keep Aragon away from Brahm, even though he definitely suspected some shit. He definitely suspected that you know, the details about Brahm and Aragon. And he was definitely a little wary, but he definitely knew something. Even if he didn't know for sure, he probably suspected it at least. That Braum was his father. Also, I like the idea that, like, Selena would have probably have wanted to get Murtaugh out of that situation, but couldn't. And Murtaugh feeling envious towards Aragon makes sense. Like, his mother had seen his suffering, and so decided her next son would not suffer the same way. Like, holy shit. And Murtaugh takes it actually relatively well. I mean, think about it this way. Murtaugh learns that his mother, even after he learns the full details, he learns that his mother cared enough about her second child to make sure that Morzan couldn't torture her. Even before he knew those details, he knew that much. Takes it remarkably well, all things considered. He's willing to let Aragon go and not drag him back out of petty revenge. Normal difficulty. You have no idea how much you missed with the normal difficulty. I'm sure you'll tell me. Although apparently you haven't gotten this far yet, since you can't identify these levels. This really is like my new favorite weapon. The damage it does is just so good. Like, everything else does, like, small damage compared to this, and if you can only get a few hits in, you want to get them to be big hits. Find out yourself, quitter. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair point. Fair point. Fair point. Hey, at least I didn't go to Ninja Dog difficulty. It's been asking me every, like, 3 or 4 deaths, but I haven't done it. Kill the bats. It also means Murtaugh suffering at the hands of Morzan pained her extremely as well. Yeah, it did. Of course, to Morzan, this was probably just one... If Morzan ever did alert... You know, I always wondered if, when Braum killed Morzan, if he ever was like, by the way, I fucked your wife. You know, just as like a last FU to the asshole. Then again, Braum probably wasn't the kind of guy to do that. And he did once care about Morzan as like a brother. So he probably didn't. But the idea of him just being like, by the way, Selena and I loved each other and we were going to run away and I was actually going to raise your son. She was supposed to go get Murtaugh as well and we were supposed to go raise your son as her own, but you got her killed, so fuck you, bitch. I'm taking you down extra hard now. You got my dragon and my wife killed. Like, so much drama between those two. Gods. Oh man, oh man. I will say, I do like, one of the things I did like about, oh, by the way, that reminds me, all this talk about the inherent cycle, apparently we're getting another book. Christopher Paolini has decided he's continuing the inherent cycle. I'm unsure as how I feel about this. Murtaugh was decent. I thought it was a pretty good book. I'm not a huge fan of the direction they're going in, where they're saying, by the way, everything Galbatorix did, those centuries of, the entire century of suffering, and the near extinction of dragons was all a plot by this Lovecraftian cult to summon their Cthulhu god to take over Alagasia. And I'm just like, like, it's a fine, like, subplot for Murtaugh to go down to deal with the cult. I'm just not sure how I feel about them tying it all back into Galbatorix's whole thing. Durza having been a member of the cult, and that's where he learned, like, some of his, like, fucked up magic. I'm actually kind of cool with that, you know, tie it lightly. But then, like, Durza did this all on our orders, and he was secretly whispering into the king and preparing it for our invasion until Aragon fucked everything up. And I'm like, do we really need to tie this into Galbatorix? I feel like a Lovecraftian nightmare cult on the edges of Alagasia. Never a good sign when a finished series starts to be continued. I disagree. There are moments where it can be good. It's just usually it's not a good sign. It's usually not a good sign. For example, Shadow and Bone. Six of Crows is better than the original trilogy. Shadow and Bone is a direct continuation from the political fallout in the events that happened in Shadow and Bone. My thing with sequel series is if you're gonna do a sequel series set in the same world, get a fucking new main character. Get a new main character. Preferably a brand new character, as opposed to side characters. You can have a side character to show up, But go like the Rachel Aaron route, where she has like a brand new protagonist focusing on a different aspect of the world each time. I personally think the Lovecraftian cult thing with Murtaugh could have worked. Because let's be real, Murtaugh had some shit to work out. It also was interesting because his training was very haphazard, so although he's powerful, he's not as versatile as Aragon. You know, he knows spells to, like, break bone and kill people, but he doesn't know spells to, like, get through arcane locks and mess with, mess with wards. Like, he doesn't know really advanced and in-depth magic. One of my favorite moments in Murtaugh was when he was raiding this group of mages, and he stole this immensely powerful book of spells. It was like this beginner. It was like a book an elf would look at it as like, oh, cute. I guess I'll throw this in the pile. But to Murtaugh, it was like an actual dictionary of ancient language words, and he was like, holy shit. Maybe I can actually start learning magic now instead of just using one of their spells.
It's not surprising that we did not know its true capacity, as the ancients were so careful to conceal it. Now,
it's a weapon
of extraordinary power, the likes of which have never been seen throughout human history. Whoever possesses it.
Do I sense greed in your voice?
Of course not, Excellency.
Of course not, Excellency.
Good. That is
It's
wise.
wise.
You will be rewarded handsomely, I assure you.
She's just casually hanging out next to like the most dangerous guy on Earth. She's like not even like hiding. She's just like around the corner, like slouched like casually. During what I think is basically like a ninja, like a full-on lockdown. But no. There can be good series. However, the series should explore a new avenue. And while it can like follow off from a series, like, you know, it can fall off on like the aspects. So like, for example, the Grishaverse with Shadow and Bone. It's focused on like a brand new thing. It's like a heist movie, but with magic, and they're trying to prevent this magic drug that can make Grisha into like dangerous living weapons, but also makes them dangerously addicted until they die. So it turns them into literal mindless killing machines that obey like witch hunters. Like, it really fucked up shit. And they're trying to steal steal the recipe before it can be mass produced and destroy any records of it because it's really fucking dangerous. And the mercantile business place wants it dealt with because it's bad for business. And the Grisha are like, yeah, we'd also like this dealt with because, like, holy shit, that's fucked up. That's a good series. It pulls off from a lot of the fallout of the Grisha's home. I forget the name of I forget what the name of the Grisha like the not Russia place like most of the first series takes place in. But it follows off immediately from Sancta Alina's sacrifice. And it's like literally like a few months. Like Sancta Alina has like dispelled the veil for like a few months at this point. It's not even that long. Or maybe like a year or two at most. How much time has passed since the end of the Inherent Cycle? A few years. It's implied Murtaugh has been out and about doing stuff for like a few years. At least 1 year, I believe. Since he did it. Like, the capital's been secured, Nazuata is in her position of power, you know, ruling over the human kingdoms, Aragon has, like, left Allegasia, we're in, like, full post-war territory, where we're in, like, clean up a few rogue factions and deal with the remainder stuff. Nazuata's power base is pretty considered, since the release of the book. Oh, yeah, I see your point. So your point is like any series that continues on the plot this later is like, we didn't plan for this. We're just doing this because we have nothing else better to write. I mean, I'm not gonna say Christopher Paolini has nothing better to write. He might have just had new ideas he wants to try out. And there were definitely things he had like available to do, I think. But I think you could be right. You could be right. This could be bad. Holy frick! Oh my! Oh gods, when did I last save? Shit! No, I think I just saved. Please tell me I just saved. Please tell me I just saved. Oh, think everything. I'm still in this level. Perfect. But yeah, that is a fair point. It's been a while. That does lower. Okay, it lowers my optimism a bit. String your combos and defenses, dang it. I'm sorry, they kept swarming. Oh yeah, look at me go. Like that. You're not doing a damn about it. Thanks a lot. I'll have you know I'm doing plenty. Oof. Alright. Oh man, I do really like this. This really is like my favorite weapon, I think. Part of it is that AoE. That charged heavy does not give a fuck. Some vigor to fightsmen. Alright, alright. Just because smoke bombs are your favorite weapon. What do you mean vigor to the fights? Do you see this great sword? This boy be huge. This boy be huge. It had all the vigor. It has all the vigor. All the fucking vigor. Alright, now where am I going to get up to the surface? I think I'm heading this way. Yeah, we're heading back up here. Okay, so this is the way we need to get up. So we head into this room. Bang! Look at that. Look at that go. That AoE just gives zero fucks. That AoE just gives zero fucks. That's consumables. That's what you got for it. I'm usually on the skeptical side of these things, especially when it comes to something I enjoyed. To be fair, you're not wrong in that a majority of the time when series get continued onward, they do it in a very and the plot continues way, which I do think is a bad way of doing it. Like, a good sequel series for me is one that jumps off from the main one. One of the things that makes me continuously interested in reading the Wings of Fire series, for example, is that although it apparently follows some of the same antagonists, I think Darkstalker, who's kind of like this mysterious guy who's clearly being set up as kind of a villain, is coming back in some of the newer stuff. From what I understand, like there's a whole book themed around him. Each series focuses on a new set of dragons as like the main cast, so to speak. So like each time you read a book, you can be assured that you're going to be dealing with a whole new set of dragons with their own new quests and new lands, right? So like the main dragons get to go off and do their own thing and aren't internally tied to the Wings of Fire series based on what I've read so far and based on what I know of the sequel series. Like there are multiple sets of people or multiple sets of dragons who get to be a part of like the cast, so to speak. And I think that's what makes a good sequel series, is setting something in your world, you know, with similar magic systems or themes, but finding a new angle, right? So like for Grishaverse, this was turning a big romantic fantasy epic into a issue is writing justifiable reasons to care for him again. Well, you can't do that with Aragon because Aragon is basically God. Like when it comes to magic, Aragon is essentially unbeatable. That's why he had to just leave Allegasia and never return. That's like the whole point of the ending, right? Is that he can never come back because he's essentially too OP. Just like Aragon be too overpowered now to exist in the world of Allegasia. Just remember Del Toro Quest anime adaptation. See, the Del Toro Quest wasn't terrible though. It was at least enjoyable. It was at least enjoyable, and I weirdly liked the CGI. I'm probably losing a lot of credibility by saying this. I like the CGI monsters and how they made them feel othered. Like, one of the cool things about the monsters in Del Toro Quest is that they were horrible abominations. Yeah, but that's the point, right? all the monsters were horrible abominations. They were corruptions in the natural order that the Shadow Lord had either engineered, outright created, or encouraged. So, like, every single thing there was supposed to be something, like, other or alien. And to me, the CGI did have the effect of making it feel other or alien. So I feel like the CGI being terrible worked for me. I personally am of that opinion. I know it's an unpopular opinion, but I kind of like how bad the CGI is. I think it was a good thing. I actually would like for them to make sure if they ever do it again, I wouldn't want them to polish the CGI. I liked how it made it feel. It's sort of the same thing with like Kodioko's system, right? Where like having the CGI for the digital world made the digital world feel different than the real world. It had this like otherizing effect with it, which worked for what they were trying to do. Now, I actually don't know if it was intentional. I have no clue if someone on the design team was like, okay, so it can't look good, but we can make them look otherworldly or wrong, right? Now, I do think they shouldn't have used it for everything. Like, some parts of it that they used CGI on weren't necessarily that. And, like, they didn't always use CGI as a shorthand for corruption. For example, the giant on the bridge, right? Or, like, stop-motion monsters. Yeah, like, do, like, stop-motion monsters for stuff. Now, again, like, they didn't do it all the time. The witch, for example, who wasn't necessarily a Shadow Lord creation, but was an otherizing part of the world, you know, the wicked sorceress, she was not CGI, and her giant, right, the giant on the bridge, who was actually a bird the witch had cursed, was not CGI, even though he was corrupted. I would have thought it would have been, if they were trying to go for the CGI othering intentionally, it would have been cool to have the bird, him turn back into normal animation, right, after the curse is lifted. So I'm not sure how much was going on there, or if they were just trying to do some animation there, but I do think there was a certain degree of intentionality behind it, because there are plenty of monsters that were not CGI. Like, it was clearly an intentional thing, like, this thing is CGI. We're making this the CGI thing. And it's always the big title creature, the corruption, the problem. Even though the guy who is, like, the guardian of the final stone, like the diamond, was not CGI. His monsters were. They were the corruptive influence that turned him to the Shadow Lord. These things that latched onto him like parasites. I mean, seriously, making the belt summon the energy giant, it was just disrespectful. Yeah, that is something the Belt of Datora was kind of in. Okay, the energy giant I have no defense for. I have no defense for the energy giant. The belt should have just driven the Shadow Lord back like it did originally. Because the whole thing with the belt is it's a very understated magic. It's the magic of unity, right? Like, the whole thing is, like, a lot of the belt's powers are very understated, you know? One is a cure, one has, it does things like see the future, or antidote, or detect lies, or go pale in the presence of evil. Like, it was a very understated kind of magic, and having it turn him into an energy giant was a bit over the top, and a bit, like, out of theme. I'm not going to deny that. I don't think it's a perfect anime. It just does some things. I think it does there are some things I think it does well, is my point. And I don't think that point is, like, completely out of line to say, like, I think there are some ways they did stuff where it was like, yeah, this is actually really kind of on theme a bit. And then other times they make an energy giant appear and it's like, what the fuck? But himself isn't corporeal, thus any power to hope to drive him away would also need to be incorporeal. Exactly. Like, he's a very one of the things Del Toro does really well is make him a very understated presence, right? We don't really see him at all. Even in the sequel books, from what I understand, he doesn't really appear. He's this looming, shadowy force. This sorcerer who is so evil, he has transcended flesh and become only this embodiment of shadow, pain, and tyranny. Very, very, like, very fucking eldritch and Lovecraftian-esque. He's literally just evil incarnate. And it's the way his corruption seeps into the world that makes the story interesting. And the belt being the unity of Del Toro which, you know, only united can Del Toro, can the land blow him away. Which makes, like, his plan so interesting, right? Because his whole plan for centuries was to divide the continent, you know? To separate the king from all the different tribes, to make him complacent and corrupt, ignorant to the powers around him, to slowly corrupt and taint their goodness, their oneness, and their virtues, to the point where they would take out the belt. And then once the belt was gone, they couldn't just rush it, because obviously if you just go after them in the next generation, they'll run to the belt and you know, and drive the Shadow Lord back and be woken up from their stupor. No, you have to drive them deep into their stupor. Slowly dismantle everything. Corrupt the land and taint every possible ally against them. So that when they finally do make their move, to our enemy's evil, 1,000 years is a blink of an eye. Exactly. The horrible power the Shadow Lord has really is his own immortality, right? The fact that he is evil so permeating that he will never be truly, fully driven from the world. That he will always be watching, waiting to strike, waiting for the weakness. Because, like, yeah, a good king can rise and can drive him back. But over the centuries, his descendants shall grow pampered and weak, and we shall fear, and we shall make them fall. Like, even the defeat, even when they initially defeat him at the end of the first series, it's basically just a reset of the status quo, right? All it is now is just another reset. Yeah, sure, they're aware of his new shapeshifters. They're aware of his evil, his insidiousness. But even then, how long until another pampered, rich, fat noble decides the belt chafes his stomach and removes it, weakening the protections over the land? I mean, like, it's not gonna take long. It really won't. Especially not to a being as ancient as the Shadow Lord. But yeah, the Shadow Lord is definitely interesting. As an antagonist. Not because he's complex. He's a very basic bitch guy when you really boil it down. Especially if you know the extended lore. He's literally just an evil sorcerer who gained so much power and corruption that he became evil embodied. Like, that's his whole gimmick. He's just an evil wizard. Like, literally Maleficent level typical evil wizard. End of victory. This isn't the end of the battle. It's a never-ending battle that must be fought. Yeah, which is interesting, right? Because, like, a lot of stories that have the noble king trope focus on it as, like, yeah, if we restore a noble king and everything is better, right? Like, Simba overthrows Mufasa. I mean, Simba overthrows Scar and takes Mufasa's place, and the world literally rights itself and everything's hunky-dory. It's like, I mean, another asshole's gonna come around eventually, right? It's only a matter of time. It's a much better depiction of, like, the noble king trope. That it actually interacts with it in an interesting way compared to a lot of others. And I think that's interesting. I think that is, like, legitimately good. Does a solid job, right? True evil does not rest is the core message of Del Toro class. Right. And it is only through the countless individuals, the small individuals. Because, like, Leaf was needed, right? He was needed to activate the belt's power. But he would never have gone anywhere near the belt without all the people, without Barda, who watched out for him, without Jasmine, without all of the allies they made, all the people who risked their lives, right? Without the people who risked everything to help them. So they could make a better world, so they could defeat this evil. Because they trusted him to right the wrong. Eternal vigilance is the price of liberty. Exactly. It actually was a really solid message on, like, the way that corruption, like, seeps into systems, right? Because it could have done really easily, right? It could have just made the palace, the people who dwelled in the palace, evil, right? It could have just made all the nobles, all the royal family and all the noble people up there just, like, very, very snobbish and evil. But it didn't. it made them think they were good people. It played on that. Just look down at our kingdom. The sun shines, trees blossom. You can hear the music from here. We don't need to go down among the commoners. We can see their joy from a distance. We know we're doing right. When really, that's just an illusion. Something that's been plastered over them. And the way the rot sets in is just so, like, basic, right? I mean, literally, the first advisor, you know, one of the first, like, shape-shifting advisors that the Shadow Lord sent into his court, got the first king to be complacent because he was so fat that the belt chafed him to put on. And so they convinced him to only wear it in noble circumstances. And afterwards, like, why would he teach his kids to do anything but what he was doing? And so that just became the status quo, right? I mean, we just only wear that on formal occasions. It's fine. Dad wore it on formal occasions. The Shadow Lord doesn't show up. And then it's like, okay, maybe we don't need to wear it to, like, every dinner. We can wear it to, like, the important end-of-year feast, you know? The big celebration of the founding. That's when the people really need to see the belt. The belt needs to be a symbol. The Shadow Lord is gone. He's not coming back. And then it came decent politics. You can tell it's a fantasy tale. And then at the very end, it's like, we only need to put it on coronation. Just one little burst to, like, make sure the Shadow Lord, if he has invaded, gets, like, fucked off. You know, and then we can, like, sit here, we can sit in the chamber. If there's a real emergency, we can always grab it. Like, no need to wear it all the time. I mean, come on. Because once the belt came off, the Shadow Lord was free to start corrupting the lands. The illusions got put up, and, you know, it was just... Again, at no point were the kings, like, slaughtering the peasants, right? There was no, how dare you steal from the royal court? Off with your head. There was nothing like that, right? There was nothing like that. It was the advisor who arranged for the food to be brought in. And of course the kings were told this was the tribute for the surplus that his great reign had allowed. It does a good job teaching you how easy and subtle evil is. It isn't loud. It works in the shadows, sets the stage. When it finally does make the president know it's too late to do anything right. Because by the time, because, like, Jared made it back, right? He did, like, he saved the king. But by the time he got there, it was too late. He was, like, the first person to realize, and he only realized because they were trying to assassinate him because he was encouraging the king to go out and, like, be among the people. Because Jared just believed that maybe the king had become a bit removed from the world around him, right? Like, even before Jared went out into the world, he didn't actually believe that anything was really that bad, right? You're like, yeah, the royal family's a bit out of touch, but they're not, like, evil. They care. They need to go back out into the people again. We've become too removed up here. And then he gets kicked out of the palace and has to work at the blacksmith, and he sees how bad things are. And when he finally gets back to the palace, he's not trying. He's like, no, seriously, dude, something is wrong. You need to go out. You need to go out and see. And by the time he's even there, trying to get him to see the truth, right? The evil is already at their doorstep. And he's being framed for murder. And he has to go on the run. And then at the very end, when Enon calls him back to just talk. He's like, something is going wrong, you need help. It's like, I know, something is going wrong. We need to get the belt. It's like, fine, you're right. You've been right all these years. I should have listened to you. We're gonna get the belt. And then, what is his name? I forget the name of, like, the weird shapeshifter advisor guy, but he's already there, right? He's ripping the belt to pieces, scattering the gems. It's over. They act literally just barely too late. You can imagine an alternate version of it, right? Where he managed to get through to his friend. They put the belt on him in a rush. Maybe they get there before the Shadow Lord's forces are ready to act. And they drive it off, and they have to, like, rebuild the kingdom. It's like, holy gods, what has our family done? We must dedicate thousands of years. But all that would have done is just, like, delay the issue. Even this was just, like, a bit longer of a delay, and it got a guy who was, like, more willing to go out and, you know, do the work, right? But, oh, man. Oh, boy. It's a whole thing. So not decent, just not cartoonishly evil, hidden in a sense. Yeah. It's what they did well. It's what Del Toro Quest does very solidly. It's evil. It doesn't make evil cartoonish. I mean, it does. That's the thing, right? It does make evil cartoonish, I guess. It makes evil cartoonish without it being cartoonishly evil. Like, the sorceress is a horrible, vindictive witch. But, like, not unbelievably so. She's petty and spiteful, but no more so than some other tyrannical leaders. You know, she doesn't just roam around cursing people for no reasons. She curses people who piss her off. Like the bird tried to escape. It dared to try to escape being food, and so she cursed it. You do have to wonder if the writer took real-world inspiration for the message. Oh, I guarantee it. The way it's said it is just like, again, cartoonish, almost cartoonish evil. Like, it's mostly cartoonish just due to the nature of it being like horrible shadow lords and like sorceresses. But the way they act, oh my. Like, there are people like that out there. One of them is in power right now, actually. They're just people, exactly. Even a lot of the villains, right, are just like people. You know, the cultists who serve these monsters, the pirates who leave them to die at the hands of the beast, right? They're all just people. Oh, man. Alright. True evil's always out there, just like the illusions. They take many forms. Yeah. Well, and in the story they do too, right? Like the Shadow Lord's whole thing is using those like shape-shifting spies who can mimic people and sow distrust and disunity, forcing people to be extra cautious, forcing rebellions to act in complete secrecy, lest they be you know, replaced and infiltrated. To the point where even core members of the team, the Olds, yes. And then, like, the Olds that are, like, unaffected even by a lot of their detection methods, right? Like, one of the reasons the false, I forget his name, the guy, the Old who's, like, a level 5 Old, who's, like, unable to be detected by most of the normal methods. Oof. Keep being grabbed. Frickin'. That grab attack is annoying as fuck. But yeah, like, he sows so much distrust, because remember, they put him through all the methods, right? They use all the methods they can, but the Shadow Lord has even layers on top of that. It's not just Olds, but even once you think you understand their rules, there are Olds who break those rules, who are even to the most cautious people. I forget, it's basically different levels of, like, how secrecy they are, so, like, the highest level Olds are indistinguishable from normal people outside of like a few tells. Like there are only 1 or 2 moments where you get hints that the guy who's like infiltrating it, oh, it's better slash. So there's a whole moment where he's sick in this area where no evil can exist. But like he's also pretending to be from this place, and so he's able to pretend that it's just, you know, he's just like shocked that his home has been left in this state. You know, all the people are gone. It's this whole thing. So he plays it off there. There are also a gem that detects danger, but he also is almost always around them while there's other danger. So they don't realize it's him and not other people and not other things. Like all the signs are obvious in hindsight, but the fact that he's also this perfect tell, and that he was always an Ol, and a perfect one at that had all the tells. That had all the tells removed. Most of the Ols have the Shadow Lord's mark on them. It's like this handprint mark somewhere on their body. All the Ols have it. Some of the other Ols have like other distinguishing factors, like they're unable to hold their forms for long periods of time is a good one. And the top tier Ols can hold them for all time, but like the super secret ones that most people don't even know if they're real can not only hold it forever, but they can do so without even these high Ols are full in number. Yeah, it apparently takes a lot of resources to make them, so it's not a efficient kind of enemy. Like Shadow Lord can't just mass introduce them. He can mass introduce the other ones, but the less competent Ols will like have moments where their bodies like distort or look wrong for a while, or they'll have to shapeshift out of their like into like their true form for a bit. Oh shit! God damn. Yeah, the Ols being, the best Ols being few in number really are the protagonist's only saving grace. If all the Ols had been like the same degree, holy shit, they would have been screwed. Come on, healing, healing, healing. Oh boy. I am about to die. I'm about to die! Shit! But yeah, Del Toro Quest is a solid book series. I still need to read the later ones, because it goes into a whole Dragon Quest in Series 3. I'll have you know, before I did that review of them, I did not actually know there were sequel books. Get wow. Get wow. Most dangerous ones to the mass slip for only a moment. Yes, the metaphors are real. I know. The metaphors are indeed real in that series. It is a really solid series. It's like very good. I've actually been very happy going back to some of my childhood book series and realizing how good they actually were. I apparently did have actual taste. It's ironic the only books in the series to feature dragons, Ramble didn't read them. No, it's not the only books in the series to... Oh, okay, look, it's the third series. I didn't even realize there was a sequel series that followed off immediately afterwards where they infiltrate the Shadowlands. And I'm still not sure I want to read that one because they have like weird worm parasite things that just, skeeve me out a bit. Apparently there's this whole thing with mind-controlling worms that burrow into people's ears and turn them into Shadow Lord devotees, which is, I don't know, something about that. That kind of vibe has always been like, I'm not really a fan of that vibe. Not a fan of that vibe. Feels like they're moving again at any moment. Wasn't this where they were? Weren't they waiting for me around here? No, they are. Ah, I see. Insert the stone tablet. Aha! Offer me up before the twin-headed serpent. Use me as a key to open the paths. There is another who travels. The paths formed in the bowels of the earth by dragons. These paths tied together faraway places, making them but a few steps away. Okay, so this is going to unlock all the teleportation circles. That makes sense. So this is how the Empire's forces are getting around. They're using the teleportation or something. Maybe. Or maybe I can only one do it. But yeah. Del Toro Quest books are mostly about gathering a bunch of MacGuffins to get victory. But that's a lot of books, so I'm not going to judge them for it. From what I understand, the sequel series is about gathering these like rare artifacts that will let them hurt the Shadow Lord in some way, and then the series after that is about awakening the like several dragons to help destroy the Shadow Lord once and for all, or something like that. Again, I only vaguely understand the details of what's going on. Ooh, glowy. My sword can glow now. I hold Excalibur. The Dark Dragon Blade. Truly an evil abomination. It's being held by a flesh golem. Creepy. Alright. So I've got my super sword now. I got my lightsaber. The true dragon sword. Nice. Storm of the Heavenly Dragon. It's now at level 4, I'm guessing. So I've unlocked Dragon Tear. The Storm of Heavenly Dragon. And what else? Any other level 4 things I've unlocked now? But yeah. No, when I read Del Toro Quest originally, I found the books. They looked interesting at the library. Yeah, I think these... Originally, I read Del Toro Quest in a library, and then I got the second one with the first one for myself, for my own collection. That's why I still have them. They looked interesting. I got them picked out, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, let's read. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I need the full collection of these. These are good. These are solid. Good book. Good book. Very good book. Very good book. Alright, so I need to head back to... I need to head to this other portal. Okay. Oh, they're still here? Assholes. Oh, yeah! Yeah, look at me use my combos. That's right. Get smoke bomb, bitch. Haha. I am doing well. Finally, some action. I was getting bored. Well, sorry. Wonder if I can use these... Wonder if using these targets will do anything. One second, I want to try something. Because sometimes games will have secrets like this. I'm just curious. I'm curious. I always try this whenever I see targets set up, in case there's like an achievement, or there's some kind of like hidden reward. Any other targets I might have missed? No. Okay, nothing. Never mind. We got nada. Alright. Some of them do have secrets behind. Unfortunately, I'm not getting the training sword because I didn't have time to grind out the training sword's essence requirements. Really wish I had. That would have made my life a lot better. Alright, so this will take us to... This will take us back. Now we have the full heavenly power of our sword unlocked. And we can travel through the hidden gates. Alrighty. The door has been unlocked, which leads us to the fire gate in the magma cave. Leads us to this gate. My god, so we're just gonna go through an entire showcase of all the levels? Like, holy shit. Oh, I think this is it. I'm gonna save it level 30. I'm gonna save it 30 here. I think we're nearing the end. Alright. Uh-oh. She's being offered. Oh no. What's going on? Oh, they're trying to turn her. They're trying to turn her. Interesting. Your flesh and blood is sacrificed. Oh, no, they're trying to offer to Alma the awakening. They're trying to offer it to her sister so she can, like, become the true awakened power or whatever. Ryu acting like he's, like, being all stealthy. How is she even still alive right now? Like, look at this bitch. Oh. Okay, that was kind of a cool effect. I liked the way her, like, legs split into, like, the centipede legs. That was kind of cool. Alright, so we gotta kill Alma. Of course she has, like, dagger boobs. What is it with like artists and just like adding spiky pauldrons to boobs? I'm not sure what the deal is here. We'll say it's a pretty fire design. I like how out there their demon designs are when they have like some of their boss entities. This is like very out there demon. I like it. Oof. Not great. You know what? Fireball time, bitch. Oh yeah, Jasmine is great. Jasmine is like one of the best characters, obviously. Duh. No duh. Look, I know I know it's telling us to use the true dragon sword, but I need Diablo. Oh, never mind. I have to use the dragon sword. It's the only thing that'll do damage to this bitch. Oh my god, that damage is pitiful. Okay, never mind. The main benefit of this weapon was damage. I don't blame you for having Jasmine as your favorite character. That's a completely reasonable choice. That's 100% of a reasonable choice. 100%. No, I don't want to ban the Wave Ninja. Yes, please continue. Yeah. Jasmine was like a fucking badass from the very beginning. Just was like, they were like, hey, are you gonna help us? Like, I mean, you know, you're gonna be food soon, so I'm mostly just stealing your shit. It's like, we're not Grey Guards. Like, really? Oh, okay, I guess I'll help you. Sure, why the fuck not? It's like, oh, you're after that nonsense. Yeah, you're gonna die. Always suspicious. And always right. Oof. No, it wasn't even Leaf and Barda that convinced her, it was the trees. Well, yeah. That's fair. You're not wrong there, it was the trees. Because Jasmine speaks for the trees in the forest. Also, her just, like, connection with nature is, like, she was easily... Ironically enough, like, I think it does a pretty good... The books do a pretty good job of making sure all the members of the party have stuff to do. But Leaf and Jasmine, and Jasmine especially, because Leaf is the main character, so no doubt he gets a lot of moments. But, like, compared to, you know, Barda versus Jasmine all the way. She's, like, consistently more useful, whereas Barda can be a bit stuck in his ways at the time. Although he is aware of things that adults would know. And not wild child children, or, like, the other child who has to be here. I think Leaf is a decently interesting as a protagonist. Weirdly enough, the protagonist she doesn't believe a single word that comes out of Leaf and Bar's mouths. She eventually learns to trust them. She eventually learns to trust and respect them. Though she does often rub in their faces when they're wrong. Oh. Boom. Alright. Come on. Okay, come on, fireball, fireball, fireball. Damn it! It literally took the very tree saying, look, I know they are humans, but they're good people. Look, the trees in that forest are good judges of character, alright? It's fine. She's totally not a little crazy. She's not. She can totally talk to animals and shit. It's real. Alright, I think I'm gonna, like, swap over to explosive arrows so I can, like, ping this thing from range. I think that... Also, fucking... Life of the gods. Use it if you got it. But it's their own instinct nature over, simple friendship. Yeah. Oh, it is nice. Holy shit, I'm taking the beating. Talking to animals is not hard exactly. Understanding what they say is difficult. Okay, so arrows do not work against this thing. That's a little annoying. I was hoping I could, like, shoot it out of the sky and just beat it the hell up once I got it downed. But explosive arrows don't seem to be working. Maybe explosive shuriken will work. So let's go to incendiary shuriken. Let's try these. Trying new things. They clearly want me to use this sword, so I am going to use this sword, but like... Oh my god, it's the grab attacks. It's always the goddamn grab attacks. Alright. Alright. Damn it! Alright, you gotta get good timing here. After the first one, fire off. Those people who are the best at telling when something's off, yeah. At least in fantasy. Bang! Holy shit, she's just avoiding everything. Wait, you can't understand animals? No, what do I look like, a nature dragon? I'm a book dragon. I don't speak squirrel. Sorry. I'm also shit with like just like the very phonetic languages, you know? Oh man, I'm getting my ass kicked by this lady. Maybe I do need to use smoke bombs against her. She is just annoying as shit. She's one of those bosses like, I'm gonna fly around and be invincible. No, I know you hit me, but that doesn't count. It doesn't count. I know you hit me in the same spot as you did when I was on the ground, but I'm in the air now, so it doesn't count. You know when the dog wants in and out. You understand them well enough. Fair. But Stella speaks in the most obnoxious, high-pitched whine possible. I love Barda is largely a meathead. Yeah, but he's also somewhat worldly, you know? He's been around the block for a while, and he knows how people work. He really is kind of the people person of the group. Because, like, Leaf was, like, raised, you know, kind of a bit sheltered. Not, like, super sheltered, because, you know, they live in the capital in a dystopia, but he was pretty protected by his parents, as you know, later learn, obvious, no duh. Yeah, despite being meathead, he's not stupid. Yeah, he's very worldly and, like, knows people well. He's good at putting people at ease. Yeah, how people work but not book smart. Exactly. Oh my god. It's just a side sometime. Oh yeah, actually I'm not open. I know I look exactly like I do when I'm open, but I'm not. Oh my frickin'. That goddamn bullshit of, oh no, my everything proof shield is up. I'm sorry. I know you have the anti-demon blade, but I'm just gonna block. When the game lets the enemy block too and you cry. To be fair, the most difficult fights. About time something has put you on edge. Yeah, to be fair, I haven't really been this challenged aside from the worms, right? And even those were more tedious. They were more tedious and, like, I was getting impatient than, like, actually dangerous, difficult. Oof. Frick! Really wish I brought more healing potions. I could just, like, tank my way through this. Jasmine was actually avoiding being drugged. She found Queen Bee's. That is actually very funny. To be fair, I have seen stuff like that in other stories where, like, a character's taste is what saves them. You know? Or, like, their being an alcoholic means they wake up earlier after they get, like, boozed off their minds. Like, how Zoro was the only one still awake when the One Piece people went to that one island with, like, the mercenaries where they met Vivi. I forget what it's called, but, like, the one island where they first ran into the number operatives from Crocodile. And it's like Zoro is just awake, because it's like, yeah, I can get drunk so much better than the rest of them. They're all lightweights, sorry. Sorry, were you expecting me to be a lightweight like all of them? No. Damn it! This is why hard is definitely starter difficulty. Shush you. But no, to be fair, most hard things in games like this for me always come up when they give the enemies the same stuff they give us. Like, the hardest things in Souls games are often bosses that can parry you or can, like, block your attacks. Because most bosses will just stand there and let you wail on them. But then you get, like, a guy who's actually good at parrying you, and it's like, oh god, what am I gonna do? Oh, shit! That's the point of Ninja Gaiden. Yeah, exactly. Bosses will be as cheap as you will, so feel no shame. And again, the fucking grab attacks. I hate them. I hate the goddamn grab attacks. I can deal with everything else. If I could just remove the grab attacks from this game, I would feel so much better. Because I fucking hate them. They come out very fast, and you're near them because you're doing melee damage, and they're just like, scoop. Oh, here's a quarter of your health bar gone. No, you can't block it. No, you can't do anything. I'm just gonna fuck you up. Ugh. Gruesome things in Del Toro codes. Remember the Mass Tribe? Oh God, I'm trying to remember. What was the Mass Tribe's deal? I mean, I know there's some gruesome stuff, you know. Like, there's the City of Rats, for example. That whole fucking shit. I mean, there's still a limit to how much you can block. They can still guard break you. Boom. Boom, bitch. Get wrecked. How do you like them apples? Haha. Yes! Uses some sort of root to make mass that, upon midnight, mass fuses to your flesh. Leaf almost suffers his face. I forgot about that bit. Haha! Magic for the win!
Now the time of the awakening is truly at hand.
What the fuck? Is she trying to save her sister? I learning better. See, people says, oh, easy for novices to get chill or get acquainted with the game. Oh, I see it. I see it. Choose hard. Game forces learning mechanics on me, ergo, I learning better. Oh, she had a moment of humanity before her death. Cute. I mean, your corruption is already way too... Or, was that the plan? Is she gonna turn her sister into a demon now? No, she's not turned into a demon. Oh, she turned back to being human? The fuck? I thought the demon stuff was, like, permanent. Can I pick up Ghost Sword? Because I like Ghost Sword. Ghost Sword seems cool. We'll see. Alright. Less than an hour. Nice. I'm a ninja dog. Oh, boo. Really? Wait, did I go to ninja dog difficulty somehow? Let me check my history. Wait, I need to check my history here. I need to make sure I'm not somehow in ninja dog difficulty. Shit. No, I hit continue there. I'm like replaying. I'm going through my backlog to make sure I didn't hit it. No, I didn't do it there. I hit normal continue there. And then I died. And I hit normal continue. God, I died a lot. No, I hit normal continue. I hit normal continue. And then I got my Fireball Barrage off. Okay, you know, I hit normal continue. I'm normal. I'm not ninja dog mode. I did terribly, but I didn't go into full Ninja Dog difficulty mode. Okay. Sorry, I saw Ninja Dog and was immediately like, no! No, did I somehow screw this up? So late into the game? Almost suffered the fate. I mean, they literally ripped the mask off the top layer of his skin. Holy fuck. Yikes. All sorts of yikes. All sorts of yikes. Also, can I go up here? No, I can't go up and grab the going ghost sword. Alright, I think the next save point is probably a good place to stop. Oh, these armors are definitely going to come alive and try and fight me. I'm going to go back to the other save point. We'll save this for next time. I will go farm up some essence, you know, get some items, do some other stuff. Understand, hard isn't exactly for pro players. To be fair, I was also streaming the game, and I didn't want it to take fucking forever. Like, I've had to try a lot even for this far. Puribond root. Ah, yes. That's extra fuck up. Anyway, this seems like a good stopping point. We've saved the demon hunter and I guess her sister, and now we are going to. I guess we're approaching final phase, right? Like this is like final stages, where we're gonna go fight the emperor and that samurai ghost. Yes. You were playing new games, so it's not with Justified. I'm talking in general. Ah, I see. Anyway, good night, everyone.